Okay, let's move to the next question. The question is, let there is a function f. Real the domain part is we already know this is the domain part. We already know this is the domain part. We already studied in advanced level domain part. This is the uh, range part. Range part. That is the range. Oh, sorry, range. This is the domain part. Domain. Domain part. Domain part. Which is range. RANGE. This domain. 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 Okay, this is the domain part is the range part. Here, what is this? This is X. This is the X. This is the X part. What is this? This is the function F. Therefore, this is the X part. What is this? This is the F of X. This is the real meaning. This is the X part. Here, if you see this real number set, what is the meaning of this? Real number set without 4. That is mean, please assume that this is a real number set, okay? We can get in real number set, in, the, in real number set, we can substitute any values except 4. We can substitute 4 for x is, which means x is not equal to 4. We can use any number x is equal to 1, x is equal to 1000, x is equal to minus 2000. We can use any number instead of x 4, the number 4. But the f of x is real number set, which means, yeah, this is the graph, okay? This is the graph x f of x f of x. This is the this domain. X is domain. The f of x is range. Okay. Now they mention that uh, the domain part is real number set without 4. Therefore, here we can use this is the place of. Please assume that there is the place of 4 number 4. Okay. We can use any number. Uh, we can use any number except 4. We can use the 4. X is not equal to 4. But here they say that the range part is real number set. That means f of x is real number set. Okay, real number set. Yeah, f of x can be any number, real number set. Minus or plus minus 2, minus 2.2, minus 1000, minus 10,000, plus 2.2, 0, plus 8.2, plus 90,000 and 435, like that. Okay, any value, but here the x no, it is not 4. That's the meaning of this question. Okay, we don't need to do many thousands questions. Okay, please, if you study only 5 questions, please understand everything. Okay, if you don't understand, um, if you don't understand, if you do 10,000 also, it is mostly not value. If you do at least 5 questions with the understanding, it is very valuable than 10,000 question. Okay, therefore uh, please understand everything, every step. Okay. Now f of x, am I recording? Okay, sorry. F of x is equal to 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 4. There was they already said about function f. Function x domain part is x real number set without 4. Re, re, uh, Range part is the vertical axis any number, real number. Okay. Now they say that f of x is 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 4. They mentioned that f of x is equal to f of x is equal to 5x minus 2, 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 4. Here, please mention that x is not equal to 4. They have already said that the domain part is real number set with 4. Therefore, x is not equal to 4. Why? If we substitute 4 here, 4 minus 4, which is 0. In the denominator part 0, they are in numerator part that's 5 into 4 20 20 minus 2 18. Okay, what is the value of 18 by 0. This will be it will tends to infinity plus infinity. Therefore, they 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 say that x is not equal to 4. If we substitute x, if we substitute 4 for x, we will not get real. We will get infinite number. Okay, that's why they are cancelling. Therefore, okay, let's move to the question. Now they have said that f of x is equal to 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 4. 5x minus 2 divided by uh, x minus 4. Now the first question is state whether f is one to one function. They are asking about the function is one to one. Okay, justify your answer. Okay, Uh, f is now we have to find whether f is one to one. How to find it? What is a one to one function? For example, okay, there is a graph. Okay, this is the graph. This x. This is f of x. This is the domain part. This is the range. X is domain part. F of x is range part. Now if we say that uh here like the graph like this. Okay, okay. Here, yeah. What can you say that say this watch carefully. For example, this is the value uh x2. Okay, this is the value x1. Okay, x1 is minus value, x2 is plus value. Here for x1, f of x1 is here. If it is x1, this is f of x1, right? If this is x2, what is this value? F of x2, f of x2. But here f of x1 is f of x2 because in same line, no, same line here. Okay, f of x1 is equal to f of x2, same distance. Okay, d same distance. Therefore, this is not a one-to-one function because x1 has f of x1. For example, this is 5. Okay, f of x1 is equal to f of x2 is equal to 5. Okay, this is the value of 5. Therefore, x1 uh, f of x1 is equal to f of x1 is also 5. F of x2 also 5. Therefore, there are two values x1 and x2 has same value for the same value for in the range. X1 and x2 has the same value, same number for in range part. Okay, have the x1 and x2 has x1 and x2 have x1 and x2 have same value for f of x. Okay, same value for f of x. Therefore, this is not a one-to-one function. Therefore, uh, the rules of the one-to-one function is every every do, every value in the domain part. This is the domain part. No, this x-axis is domain part. For the rule of one-to-one function is every value in the domain part must have has uh, a unique value. Okay, there are many values. Here this 0. There are this part is minus real number set part. This plus real number set part. Here for every value of the x, here every value of the x, there must be unique value. But it is not one to one because for x1, um, x1 has 5, x2 has also 5. Therefore, it is not a one to one. For example, another example. This is another graph. Okay, uh, this graph. Okay, now I write uh, neatly. Okay, okay. Uh, Now this the another graph. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, this is also not one to one. But not one to one. Why? Here, for example, this x1, this x2. X1 and x2 has same value for same value. same value or, about for example 20. Okay, x1 and x2 has same value for f of x. If that's mean f of x1 is equal to f of x2. F of x1, I write very clearly, f of x1 is equal to, in this graph, f of x1 is equal to f of x2. F of x1 is f of x2. Therefore, this is not a one-to-one function. F of x1 is equal to f of x2. Therefore, this is a one-to-one function. Here we discuss about another graph. This x, this is f of x. The graph is like this. Okay. Here for every, yeah, please watch very carefully. Here every x has different unique value. No, every x has different unique values. Here, please see the distance between these lines, this x-axis and this graph. Every x has different values, different values. Therefore, this is the one-to-one function. Here, f of x1, for example, there is a value here, f of x1, there is another value, x2. Okay, there is another value, x2. Okay, here f of x1 is f of x1 is not equal to f of x2. F of x1 is equal to, every x has unique value for f of x. Every x has a unique value in the range part. That is a unique value. Okay. Therefore, this is a one-to-one function. One-to-one function. F of x1 is not equal to f of x2. Therefore, every x has different values, different unique values for f of x. They are for the range part. Therefore, this graph is one-to-one function. Now they are asking about, there is a graph f of x, there is a function f of x is equal to 5x minus 2 divided by 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 4. They are asking that state whether f is one-to-one function. How to find it? Let's now f of x equal to f of 5x minus 2 by x minus 4. Okay, let's move to the question. Answer part. Okay, okay. I assume that I I assume that I assume that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. X1 is, wait, we need a lot of pages to explain. Okay. I assume that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. Oh, but they are asking that they have to prove that f is one-to-one function. What is the meaning? F is one-to-one. They say that we have to prove that f is one-to-one function. Therefore, we have to prove that f of x1 is not equal to f of x2. But uh, we prove here we prove f of we assume that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. This mostly we call this proof of contradiction, like that. We sometimes they will ask that prove that x is equal to 5, but we will take that x is not equal to 5 when we will prove uh, in finally we will prove that this is the contradiction. Therefore, our assumption is wrong. Therefore, x is equal to 5. That is why. Like, okay. Now I assume that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. Therefore, here x1 we have to mention about x1 and x2. X1 and x2 belongs to real number set, and x1 comma x2 not equal to 4. Why? Here, the x1 and x2 are the points in the x1 and x2 are points in the domain part. Here, x1 and x2 can't be 4. Therefore, x1, uh, I assume that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. They are the values in the domain part, domain in x-axis, in the x-axis, f x1 and x2. I mentioned that there are the x1 and x2 has same value for f of x. If that is f of x in one is equal to f of x2. The x you please write like this. Okay, this is very beautiful for you are we are engineering student. No, therefore writing this is very best for engineering student. X1 comma x2 belongs to real number set and x1 comma x2 is not equal to 4. That is okay. Now we have said that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. Now I substitute x1 and in the function of f of x1. What is f of x? F of x is 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 4. Therefore, f of x1 is equal to 5x1 minus 2. 5x1 minus 2. 5x1 minus 2 divided by x1 minus 4. x1 minus 4 is equal to 5x2 minus 2 divided by x2 minus 4. Why? This f of x2, therefore f of x2, therefore if we substitute x2 instead of the if we substitute x2 in the function f of x instead of x, we will find get this very simple. No, they have 5x2 minus 2 divided by x2 minus 4. Okay, x2 minus 4. Now if we I multiply this numerator and denominator like in cross part. Okay, yeah, 5x1 minus 2 into x2 minus 4 is equal to 5x2 minus 2 into uh, x1 minus 4. Don't write here. Okay, please write in the same line. Yeah, I don't have the enough place. Okay, that's why I write here. Okay, it's not beautiful. If you calculate this, you will finally get that 18x1 is equal to 18x2. Therefore, x1 is equal to x2. What is the meaning of this? Here, if I assume that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. Therefore, the final answer is x1 is equal to x2. For example, x1 is equal to x1 is equal to x2 is equal to 12. Okay. What is the meaning? There is a value 2. I assume that the f I assume that there are two numbers x1 and x2 has same value for f of x, but it says that you if 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 there are two values in the x bar, if there are two values in the x bar x axis or in the domain part, the and if they have the same value, it must the two values are the 2 points in the x axis or the domain must be same. Please don't confuse. Okay, what's the meaning of I assume that there are two values x1 and x2 has same value for f of x. X1 and x2 has same value for f of x, but it says that if if x1 and x2 has same value, x1 and x2 is are same. Therefore, the function is a one-to-one function. Okay, because why? Some people prove that the question is f is one-to-one function. Therefore, they will prove that f of x is equal to 5x2 5x minus 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 4. Therefore, f of 1 is equal to 5 5 5 5 5 into 1 minus 2 divided by 1 minus 4. Therefore, f of 1 is equal to 5 minus 2 3 by 1 minus 4. Uh, F2 is equal to F3 is equal to, for example, some students prove like that. It's very wrong method. Okay, f of 3 is equal to 5 into 3. 5 into 3 minus 2 divided by x minus 3 minus 4. Therefore, 5 into 3, 15 minus 2, 13. 3 minus 4 minus 1. Therefore, f of 3 is equal to minus 3. Then they will tell the reason that if uh, the, the one the one has 3 by minus 4, the 3 in the domain or x-axis has minus 3. Therefore, the 3 by minus 4, 3 by minus 4 is not equal to minus 3. Therefore, this one to one function, they mentioned that they only substitute about 2 3 values and finally say that the every values are unique. Here, one has unique value 3 by minus 4. Here the 3 has unique value minus 3. Like and they prove that therefore every value in the x-axis or in the domain has different values for f of x. Therefore, if the function is one to one function, it's very wrong. Okay, we can say we can say with the only we can say with only 2 3 values by substituting like this. We can say that or we please assume that we only substitute 1 2 3 4 5 and we say that there are the f of x the values for the 1 2 3 and 4 are different unique values for f of x. Therefore, the function is 1 to 1. This is very wrong. In mathematics, we must prove for everything. We have to prove from minus. We have to prove all the numbers in the real number set. All the numbers in the real number set except 4 because they say that x is not equal to 4. Therefore, we have to prove. We have to input every value in the x-axis, but we have no time. Uh, we have no time to input every value. Therefore, we take like this common value x1 and x2. It's enough. Okay. I assume that f of x1 is equal to f of x2. Therefore, finally, I say that x1 is equal to x2. If 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 I assume that there are two values has if there are two values have same value for f of x, the two values are must be same. That is why the graph like this. This the graph. I assume that there are two values x1 and x2 has same value. For example, this the state. Okay, this way. Okay, this the f of for example f of x. This f of x. This is x. Now I assume that this f of x is for example uh 20 20. Okay, 20. Now I assume that I already said that the function has two values for the function. There are two values in the x-axis has same value for f of x, but it says that uh, okay, your assumption is f of x1. Assumption is that two values have same value. Then the x values are same value. That means okay. I I told to the therefore x1 is equal to x2. This is the real meaning. Uh, x if there I if I tell x1 and x2 has same value for f of 10, x1 is equal to x2. If x1 is not equal to x2, for example, this x1, this x2, this is not a one-to-one function. Here, the function is one-to-one function. Therefore, x1 is equal to x2. It's very simple thing. If you don't understand, please watch the video again and again. Okay, it's very simple thing, but mostly we don't understand. In advanced level, also I was advanced level in not only in first year also I was facing many problems in this question. Now it's very simple. Okay, it's very simple. If you understand, quick you can answer any question. Okay. Okay, now we have proved the F is 1 to 1 with the answer with justification. This there that justification. Okay, we have proved that this. Okay, we have proved that 1 to 1 function. Now we have that justified with the graph. Okay, now we have state that F is 1 to 1 function because x1 is equal because if f of x1 is equal to because if f of x1 is equal to f of x. Finally, write that if okay if f of x1 is equal to x2, then x1 is equal to x2. This is the justification. Okay, if f of x1 is equal to f of x2, then x1 is equal to x2. Therefore therefore the function the function f of x is a 1 to 1 or 1 to 1 function. Okay, this is enough. This justification is mostly enough. We have mentioned everything. Okay, we have proved everything. Therefore, in this video we have discussed about this 1 to 1 function. Second video we will discuss about uh, how to find the f inverse of x. What's the meaning? F inverse the inverse function of f of x. F inverse of x. That is inverse function of f of x. We can discuss about in next version. Okay, bye. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Okay, and share with your friends. Okay.